Hello everyone, welcome back to FPL Jedi Show. The international fixture are still in progress, but we are coming to Gameweek 9, of which a lot of talking points that we are going to discuss. My name is Hafiz, and I would like to welcome definitely my two panelists for today. First of all, Azmin to the stream. How are you, brother?
I'm good. I'm all right. Still eager to get it going. I very frustrated with international breaks. So yeah, looking forward to the weekend.
All right. Also, would like to welcome Afosz to the stream. How are you coming to this game week 9?
Yeah, can't wait for Gameweek 9 to start after a very bad Gameweek 8. So what a long suffer.
The long suffering will end soon for sure. Game week 9 is coming. I think there's a lot of internet features still coming in for the next 2-3 days. Hopefully there is no major concern in terms of injury to the player, but for sure there's a lot of things that we can discuss. Also, we would like to review the season so far after game week 8 for sure. All right, I think we would like to welcome Rakat FPL to the stream. He already posted some question of which we're going to tackle those things. All right, I think we just touch a bit in terms of the talking points for game week 9. We take a look back, a quick recap of how we perform in game week 8. Okay, I think the last 2 weeks, okay, how we perform in terms of our team. All right, but you can see in terms of our rank, I have 1.6 million, Azmin 4.68 million, and Afosz there 2.88 million. We are not performing at our best so far. We can say in terms of overall rank. We take a look number 2, the top performer and stat after game week 8 for sure. The fixture ticker, the community already talk about the fixture swing. Some managers already activate their wildcard in game week 8 and they perform, but we take a look what fixture will be until I think game week 16. We take a look. I think spoiler, Afosz is already activated his wildcard after he mentioned a disastrous week in game week 8. So we can see how he will line up in game week 9. For sure, he will be pumped up in terms of how he going to construct his team. The game week 9 fixture, for sure, we take a look. The captain pick, if you want to debate, same like game week 8, there's a lot of option. Is it still an option, or we are going to the same one? Particularly on the right side, I think Mo Salah is the one that we're going to talk about. He performed in game week 8 for sure. And what is our transfer plan for this week? All right, those are the talking points. I think we go to your team first, Azmin, because you scored the highest among the three of us. The average point for game week 8 was 44 points and you got 66.
Okay, so firstly, because it's not quite clear there, it doesn't really tell the full picture, in that I actually have 58 because I took -8. I had 3 transfers and ended up with a -8 to get there. Okay, so firstly my Turner for Pickford, wrong move. Pickford kept a clean sheet. Turner did, but then Pickford also made off with maximum bonus points, which is something that we not used to seeing, I guess, for Pickford. And so well done him. But I'm not too fast. Turner still managed the clean sheet, and but still it's 3 points lost. So White came clean in against City of all teams, and and also made off with the bonus points as well. So he had the maximum 3 bonus points, and not the Martinelli, because Martinelli had less minutes. I think that was pretty much the game changer as to why White got the full minutes. Cash was one of my transfers, and unfortunately it didn't pay off. He got 2. So by net effect, you think that -4, 2, but but at the end of the day, in total, my total transfers did end up with a positive, just not by much. Pedro Porro was my second transfer, and he did okay, clean sheet, and I actually considered having a double Spurs defense. Remember, Hafiz, I talked about it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, actually that didn't pay off, and I didn't, and I should have, because Cash didn't do well. Kabore totally disappeared, and if you look at my bench, there's no one else who can come in. So I'm really also disappearing and as injured. So in the end, I was with 10 players. But Salah was the right move for the captaincy, and it paid off big time. And is from the real main responsible. He's responsible for almost half of my points. Rashford, Mbeumo continued to disappoint. Ward-Prowse disappointed. Darwin was my other transfer, and he did chip in with an assist. Not as much as I hoped, though. So in a way, Darwin, Cash, Pedro, although it was okay because all of my all the people they replaced didn't play anyway. So, but in the end, the net effect was 8, 13 plus 5 additional points. Haaland blanked, and I guess, of course, we watched the last match hoping that he would blank, and I guess for me, and also for Sun captainers. So all in all, it was a pretty decent week. I'm not to say I'm not upset. I'm pretty happy with it. Although obviously without the -8, it could have been higher. But you can't win everything.
All right. I think we discussed offline. I mean, your transfer, actually you remove all those non-playing players or injured players. So there is nothing negative there, because you actually take out the players who actually not going to produce any point for you. So -8 is quite reasonable. I think that White 9 points also deserve to be applauded, because Arsenal versus Man City, and we know Man City could actually score that game, but Arsenal kept a clean sheet of each year. That's pretty much a good performance from Arsenal defense for sure. The captainers, Salah, 15 points from me. I think that's the crucial part of your team. You got that right for sure, because Sun captainers, Haaland captainers will be disappointed in game week 8. I captained Sun, only 3 points. I think Afosz captain Haaland only 2 points. So that pretty much the difference, because Haaland still the most highly captain in Gameweek 8. I think is it around 5 million plus, Son around 1.7, Salah slightly lower than 1 million. So basically you got it right. Whoever captain Salah, whoever got Salah inside his team also would definitely delighted with this point for sure. Okay. All right. I think that's pretty much about your team. Okay. We jump at least your rank 5.7 to 4.6. Pretty much a green arrow. It is welcome for sure. And moving forward, would definitely you want better moving forward. Yep. All right. Next for my team. Okay. I only scored 44 points, but I took a -4. So actually, I got 40 points only, -4, and below 4 points from average points in game 8. My rank down from 0.27 to 1.66 million. As you can see, in the team, I got triple Spurs players, and then I captain who actually blank. Udogi 6 point, Madison 6 point. He got an assist, and Son only 3 points. I think I watched that game against Luton Town, and Spurs only win 1-0. So Son continue to disappoint when you expect so much from him. Because I still remember people expect a lot of points and captaining Son against Sheffield United 2 weeks back. Then he disappoint again with another promoted side. So there is a concern in terms of Son consistency. But nevertheless, I think Son is the most explosive Spurs players. You want him in your team more than Madison, I suppose. But Madison still keep ticking in terms points. Chip in assist, chip into assist. So he's not that far behind Son in terms of performing points. So that's pretty much my team. The one that performed is actually Pickford, 9 points. Whoever thought, finally I got that points from Pickford, despite a lot of agonizing performance by Pickford, for sure. Trippier continue to tick. Okay, continue to tick, even though I think Newcastle drew 2-2 against West Ham, but he actually got an assist and 2 bonus points, if I'm right. So Trippier going to tick 6.5 million. He's now 6.7, 6.8 million. Really deserving in terms of Newcastle assets. But I think his price is quite pricey for sure, especially when you're wildcarding, whether you can fit in Trippier in your team and sacrificing someone in midfield for sure. Other than that, I just want to touch about Manchester United asset. I think Rashford and Bruno continue to disappoint their owner. Did not get anything from that Brentford match. I really hope that Manchester got something. They got 2 goals at least, but it's not from Rashford and Bruno. So that's the disappointment part. I think I'm going to hold them at least for game week 9 for last straw, hopefully. But pretty much, I think Rashford is in declining form for sure. His price also dropping like nobody business for sure. But that's the case for now. Haaland 2 points and all. Morris only 1 point. I think he's being yellow carded against Spurs match. So, but I think the one that I want to talk is about Gabriel, 8 points on the bench. I'm contemplating whether to take a hit for Estupinan getting in cash, because I thought cash will definitely perform for the next 2 at least. And Gabriel against Manchester City last week in Gameweek 8, and then this week against Chelsea. So he might not actually keep any clean sheet, but he really defy all odds and getting a clean sheet and 2 bonus points. So something for me to think. Okay, that's about my team. I think we go. Min, do you want to say anything?
Yeah. I guess because your Trippier, you mentioned Trippier going up and continue to go in price, but yeah, the double duo of Rashford and Fernandes just isn't clicking, and when you have Mbeumo who's also disappointing, it's time to shake a few feathers. But the point that you mentioned about Son, his consistency is, for me, it is a serious problem, and you have to wonder, while you may still have him in your lineup, which is fine, but captaining him may not be the way to go.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Just keep him, but not captain.
Correct. I think let's go to Afosz team because he did mention earlier before we go stream, he actually did a rich transfer for his team. We shall see. Only 25 points, okay, and you're dropping 1.1 million, 2.8, around 1 million plus in terms of down in terms of rank. Afosz, what do you think about your team? Walk through about your team.
Uh, it hurts so bad looking at this team again. No,
Right. Understand?
no, no returns. Only Trippier got few returns there. Okay, so anyway, I did two transfer. I took a hit.
Okay.
First transfer was Rashford to Son because after seeing the Crystal Palace games, this Manchester United assets really disappointing. Like you mentioned just now, Rashford's price dropping like crazy. So I just don't want to lose any more value out of him. So I
Okay.
just because the next game's Spurs is against Luton, so I just wanted to take that advantage after seeing so many people transferring Son. And then another one is I think Jordan Bayer from Burnley to Lamptey, just because
Ah,
Bayer was expected to drop in his price 4.0 to 3.9, and then rumors has it that Lamptey is going to take the spot for Estupinian's in the
okay.
Estupinian's absence. So yeah, but it turns out that he didn't even feature
Okay.
in the lineup in the bench. So yeah, all in all, I did lose an effective
Yep.
-3 because So after Gameweek finish, strictly we activate my wildcard just to reveal the whole team. Even
All right.
as a MU fan, I don't really want to keep my Manchester United assets for even one
Okay.
more week. So I
All right.
salute you
Okay.
to
Fair.
keep the two for one more week. So yeah, I think that's about it.
Um, yeah, I mean, just quick comment. I mean, to be fair, because if it's during the international break, ideally you'd want to wildcard fast anyway because of all the possible price changes, and then you can just manipulate your team. When price goes up, you sell. Price goes down, you buy. Depending on who you want. So even though you could argue it's kind of a rich transfer, I'm not saying it's not, but because since it's the
is.
international break, it does make sense to wildcard early just to so
Yeah.
that you will be ahead of the price changes. So yeah, I mean,
I think
but sorry, go on.
Yeah, the plan
yeah.
anyway is to wildcard during the international break, unless this particular game week it gives really a high scoring points, maybe close to 80 or 100. Then I might stay for a week or two, depending. But the plan has always been to wildcard during the international break.
Okay. So basically, I think you really plan to wildcard in 9, right? Against others that were talking about 10. So 9 could
Yep.
be. I think looking back at your team, I can understand when you transfer in Lamptey and he did not play. So that
Yep.
you
That's a
minus
waste
4
transfer.
for
Yep.
waste transfer. And the other point I just want to make, because I had similar like your team, Afosz. I take out Saka and get in Son and remain Rashford. But for you, you transfer out Rashford for Son. But Saka is like might there is possibility he might not feature,
50-50.
right? Because like I mentioned.
Yep.
Do you think that could be the wrong move at that juncture?
Should price change doesn't affect much, I might wait and transfer Saka out instead. But yeah,
Okay.
at the moment, because my style of playing FPL is that I try to keep my team value high
Okay.
as much as possible for the first season. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't regret as much. But in terms of losing a bit I might regret if Rashford falls,
Score big.
but
Okay.
yeah, but it's not, so doesn't affect so much.
Okay. Fair. You already wildcarded, so that's the most important
Yep.
thing. And reconstruct your team. Later we see your team. Next we go to top performers so far after game week 8. Just a recap or the the outlook of game week 8 against game week 4 in terms of top scoring. As you can see in game week 4, we did mention about midfielder performing. It continued to perform in game week after game week 8 because in terms of points, 50 points or more, midfielder scored the highest with 4 players and 40 plus points with 8 players. So pretty much midfielder continue to produce point and to actually strengthen case that having 5 midfielder is the way to go, because midfielder has the potential to deliver 50 points or 40 points more than say the likes of forward. Only 2 forward there produce 50 points or more, and 40 points or more only 2 players. In terms of defense, slightly lower than forward. 1 player 50 points over of, and 2 players 40 points over. So means that if let's say we think about Trippier, maybe he's the only one and the rest might not someone that we should think in terms of investing in defender. So I go to Azmin first. What do you think, man? Are we right to say going 4-3-5-2 is the way?
Yeah, it's still very much skewed to the midfielder, and the thing is, we have so many good midfielder options this season. You know, you got even the likes of Mbuemo, who was previously classified as a forward, now he's a midfielder. You know, that's an example of how. Then you have Rashford continues to be classified as a midfielder. You know, although he's not performing compared to others, but the point is, there's, in terms of the midfield, there's just so many decent options that you can choose from, and you know they all can perform in their day. You know, you got Son, you got Madison. You know, all capable of exploding when the needs can be. Of course, you've got the random factors like Sterling, who blows up when you don't have him and doesn't blows up when you do. Yeah, but otherwise, yeah, it's a nice thing to have this season and watch, you know. But it just also means that the game is very much better for it. Yeah, so we have more options and more ways to play, and not necessarily always have to follow a template.
All right. Okay, Afosz, what do you think when you see these stats?
Yeah, I agree with the midfielder points, but it's just that yeah, there's a lot of options to pick in the midfield slot, but having to adjust your team for balance, and then also to pick the right forward. Yeah, because you only get 2 slots and one already for Haaland, so the other one is either to pick the right ones and to balance things out for each individual teams is, I think, is pretty much to be focused on. Like for example, earlier seasons, Alvarez started to score points, and then suddenly it shifted to Watkins. People now moving to Watkins, so it's either you stick with the 2 forwards, or you try to navigate here and there.
Okay, fair. Then we go to the next one, of which we look at who are the top 10 performers so far after game week 8. As we can see, 2 players tied in terms of point. The top one, 59 points. One from the forward, Oli Watkins, and the second one is Mo Salah. And for sure, Mo Salah is back. In our radar, we did mention, or most of us go without Salah coming game week 1 team, but for sure after game week 8, or maybe before this game week 6-7, we already realized Salah need to be in our team. And then we can see there, other than that, Haaland still among the top, even though people are thinking about going Haalandless and not putting him into the team, but he's still up there. Then after that, we have Son and Saka. Okay, I think the most template. And then we have Anderson there. I'm not sure whether people are surprised with that. Crystal Palace, Anderson got, I think, the most high scoring defender with 51 points. Then we have Bowen, Trippier second after Anderson in terms of defense. Afosz did mention about Alvarez. We got Watkins, Haaland, and Alvarez there in terms of forward in the top 10 templates, and we have Madison to complete the top 10 players. I go to Azmin first. Looks like Mo Salah and Watkins top there. They're a must-have now.
Yeah. So the difference, of course, is that Salah has been pretty consistent in that sense in terms of his. I think he's only blanked once. That Spurs game with a 1-pointer. But other than that, all the question is whether he's giving the points that he should, and that's the issue. Yeah. But Watkins, obviously fueled by that one game where he scored a hat trick and 2 assists. Obviously, so the chances of him doing that again isn't going to happen every other week either. But it did help to fuel him up. So you got to think about these explosive, players who perform on the day. Are they worth having them throughout the blanks? For example, even like Sterling, those who kept him and then he decided to haul. You have to balance that out and see whether it's worth it. And at the moment, you could argue that it's not looking good for Haaland at the moment. But because of our history with him last season, it just feels like not having him is too hard of a risk. But obviously we know, back in Gameweek 7 when people had started wildcarding and the possibility of a no Haaland wildcard it's already been starting to be talked about. But in the end, most of them chose not to still have Haaland in the drafts. And of course, with the injuries in City, hampering City, especially KDB, and even Rodri. Without Rodri, it seemed Haaland was almost hopeless. So Rodri comes back after the international break. So it'll be interesting to see whether City's plays pick up. Because to be honest, against Arsenal, I saw that match and it was just really City were playing so negatively. Ederson was just holding on to the ball and not kicking it forward or passing it and just waiting for someone to tackle. For what? It's like it almost felt like they were slowing down the game because they didn't know what to do with the ball. So that's something that it does cause a worry for Haaland. Okay, so Son, we talked about it, Son, earlier, and I think having him in team is good. Do you want to captain him? Not necessarily, because for all the easy matchups, that's when he blanks. So, but will you consider captaining him against a tough matchup? If you have Son, you need to answer that one. Yeah, because that's where he's.
I think people, if it, let's say moving forward, going to captain, I think just between Haaland and Salah, that's the most consistent player, if I may say. Other than that, unless there is really they play each other, there will be different case. Even Saka and Son might not be the consistent player because we already see Saka could actually donate his penalty take if they say he got that one. So there's pretty much the situation. Azmin did mention you already suffered going Haalandless last year, right, Min? So
Last season,
always going against with Haaland. So his potential is right.
Can I just mention, because there are two less owned players here, which is one is Anderson, and he's still highly owned, but on the lower side, but arguably he's there because he's cheap, 4.9, I think it was 4. Even cheaper before. But I want to draw attention to Bowen, and I think Afosz still has him, and he's doing well. But of course, that is a cost because he's 7+ points to have him. But I think seems to be a great pick to have at the moment because he does score regularly. Maybe once in a while he doesn't score, but more often than not he seems to be at the central of West Ham's attack. So I like the pick, Afosz, and I wish I had him instead of Ward-Prowse. Obviously, Ward-Prowse is has that ball threat and does pop up with the goals, but Bowen's more consistent from the looks of it.
Okay. So I go to Afosz from these top 10 players, which really you feel you need to have in your team?
Yeah, I think obviously the two Salah and Haaland. Salah and Haaland obviously. Son I would argue because yeah, he has that potential. He has a very high ceiling, but even against Luton, he can't get any sort of points in return. So another one is Watkins. People are jumping for Watkins, the wildcarding or maybe transfer. But if you look at his performance since Gameweek 1, if you take out the ones that he scored a hat trick on, he's just a very kind of average point contributors, doing aces and his score. It's just that yeah, his ceiling suddenly goes above, and we know that his potential, and also Aston Villa's fixtures is looking good. So I think which is why a lot of people try to bring him in. Yeah, I think because another one is even with the higher ceiling, he scored a hat trick. I think without a penalty, right? No penalty. Uh, so yeah, but for me, I'm still because at the price of 8.2 and a lot of midfield options, it's very difficult to juggle around with your team value.
Okay.
But apart from that, it's all the top 10 players, all very good pick. It's just a matter of preference, looking at fixtures, form, and yeah.
Okay. If I see here, if say I am wildcarding this week, I can see that Watkins need to be in my team, Salah, even Haaland, you want Son, you want Saka. I'm not sure about Anderson. You want Bowen, right? If pretty much you want Trippier also if you have the money, for sure. And then Madison somewhere there. But we cannot fit everyone in because if they say team value quite low, right? So you can't fit. You need to make sacrifice.
Anderson, I would want Anderson if his price lower. I mean, his price before, but at 4.9, I think is already pretty high. Yeah, I think we just try to look at other
You're on
options.
mute. We cannot hear you.
Oh, sorry. I just say sacrifice Haaland and you can fit most of these people.
But I just want to ask you, Afosz, do you think,
Yeah.
Do you ever give a thought that you're not going to have Haaland in your wildcard? Do you ever thought that?
No, exactly, because yeah, even though he's not doing very well at the moment, but I think it's a very huge risk not to have him in your team rather than having in your team and he just continues to blank.
At the moment, I just chiming in because it seems to be that the question is whether or not teams have figured out how to stop Haaland. Is that the reason, or is it too because of the City personnel lacking? Yeah, and also with Alvarez as a striker who wants to score as
Second
well.
threat. Yeah.
Yeah. So is Alvarez also theoretically affecting Haaland? Because we know that last season it was all about getting Haaland, getting the ball to Haaland.
Agree.
This season, not so, because Alvarez is there, and Alvarez is someone who can score goals, and we see him getting more chances.
I think it just the opponent shift focus, rather than trying to stop Haaland, and then suddenly you have Alvarez who just won a World Cup. Just won World Cup, and then keep on performing every other game, because the moment you try to focus on Haaland so much, and then you have Alvarez who have pretty good potential as well.
Yeah, so we can look at Afosz wildcard later in more detail.
Brian mentioned Haaland is more like a homeland.
Yeah, only scoring at home, but we'll he is that at the moment, but it's just that his explosiveness with given the right service, it's still hard to ignore.
Okay, fair.
Thanks,
I
Ryan.
think we want to fit everyone in. It's definitely not possible. We just need to make sacrifice. But I think if you want a balanced team, based on what the teams have been performing, we know Spurs, Arsenal, Liverpool, City are up there. Newcastle are performing. There was you want at least one representative from those teams, and maybe the talisman of those teams. Say Saka from Arsenal, maybe Salah for Liverpool. If you cannot afford the rest of Liverpool squad, right? Aston Villa, maybe Watkins is the talisman, right? West Ham, Bowen. If you cannot go Bowen, I think JWP is not bad enough.
It's not so bad. Yeah.
So I think still okay. You can reach, I don't know. You can reach Salah and you get Luis Diaz, Darwin. I'm not too sure whether they can be that Salah level.
No, I don't think so. It's not even comparable.
I think the Haaland, I think you have
Salah.
Haaland and Salah combo. At least you can see in terms of captaincy between these two players, you should be safe. If you feel that Haaland a bit off form, you can captain Salah in the right match, and so forth, something like that.
Yep.
Okay, I think that's top 10. But we gonna see the overall in terms of all department. In terms of goalkeeper, I think goalkeeper and defense, we did mention after game before, the Spurs has set up there in terms of Vicario, Romero, Udogi or something like that. But we can see here, Crystal Palace are replacing them. Johnston, the top highest scoring goalkeeper so far, tied with Leno. We know Leno potential in terms of clean sheet and also bonus point. But he actually matched there in terms with Anderson as a top goalkeeper and defender combo. You can see that. Another good entrance somewhere there is Trippier coming up, climb the ladder. I think the 18 points against Sheffield United really proved the decisive point, getting Trippier up there. But his price, it will definitely be a challenge if we want to think getting him inside our team. He's now 6.9 million. So he's reaching up there with the level of Trent, right?
Yeah.
So that's where we have Arsenal rep in terms of defense, White and Saliba there. And then we have Cash, because he's the most potential defense in terms of explosiveness for Aston Villa. Aston Villa also a decent team that we should take a look at that. So maybe we stick about goalkeeper and defense first. What interests us when you see this top 5 for keeper and defense? I mean,
well, I guess one thing is you got Leno up there, because and Fulham aren't exactly the most defensively solid team, but given how they, so it is quite a surprise to see them there. But but at the end of the day, it's a nice risk to have, because you 4.7, not a lot of funds, and yet there he is among the top scoring keepers. Although potentially at risk of conceding loads, but there are lots of saves and bonus points to make up for it. So Crystal Palace, who are also equal, which is Johnston's, and surprising, and they have looked defensively solid. And they kept a clean sheet. The last 2 games, they kept clean sheets, I think. Yeah, so it's, to be fair, one was against Manchester United and the other one was against sorry, the other one was against Forest, but it does show that even though their attack is such a huge issue this season, but defensively they are there. So you've got some cheap keepers there, and once again I have failed to get neither. But I mean, it will definitely help fuel your expensive midfield by having a cheaper keeper. That's your first step to go.
Yep, for sure.
I just want to mention on the defense side, so you got Arsenal there, 2 of the players there as the top, and Arsenal's defense is looking decent after Arteta ditched. Well, thanks to Partey getting injured, Arteta ditching that silly experiment of putting Partey at right back, and Ben White, So and
finally play Gabriel.
Yeah, so finally played Gabriel and with Zinchenko, and Ben White restored back at right back. Thank you. by the way. So yeah, it looks better, and we show and having won against City, are Arsenal gonna try doing some silly experiment again? I don't think so. I think they're gonna keep that, barring
Okay.
injury.
Right. Afosz, for sure you're calling. I think in terms of goalkeeper, you definitely want to go cheap. The trending right now is going Areola and Turner. Is that the way to go?
Yeah, that's the move. That's the move I go with for my wildcard. So yeah, I think in terms of goalkeepers and defenders, my Johnston from Crystal Palace really me caught me off guard, because Leno was somewhere out there, but didn't expect Crystal Palace to be performing in terms of defensive points. Johnston and Anderson.
Okay. I think Johnston, people needed to go is because Henderson already moved to Crystal Palace, but he's not injured. I'm not sure how long he will be laid off. But if you feel you want to go different, I think Johnston is not a bad shout for sure. His price still 4.5, and he's selected only by 2.5% managers so far. Let's go to midfielder and forwards. We mentioned Mo Salah. We did mention about Son, Saka, Bowen, and Madison. I think this is the top 5 midfielder so far. And then in terms of forward, we have Watkins, Haaland. We did mention about Alvarez, okay, in the top 3. But Isaac and then Morris in that top 5. Could they actually potentially be into our consideration? I'm not sure. I think Morris might not, but Isaac could be in the conversation if you want to mention getting forward. 7.5 million, still decent. Min, what do you think in terms of midfielder and forward context?
Well, to be fair, for where Isaac is concerned, it's clear that a lot of managers have jumped onto the bandwagon with 21.5%. So they are placing some faith that Isaac is going to be the more consistent starter instead of Wilson. Yeah, and also they're probably banking on Wilson's injury history to ensure Isaac gets more starts. But the risk is there, and well done to those who are taking the risk. Obviously, he did well last time out. So now the question is there anyone worth it? And because when you look at Watkins, you're looking 59 points, but 23 of those points were in one match. And coming back to what Afosz mentioned earlier, so there's only one match where he technically hauled, which was where he scored the only goal in the match against Chelsea. So that's 9 points, 6 goals, 6 points plus the triple bonus points. Other than that, it's only been an assist. So nothing fancy. So I don't think Watkins deserves a place. In fact, Alvarez probably deserves a spot more.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. So okay, and for the midfielder side, this one, to be fair, this whoever's up top here can change easily. I wouldn't be surprised if Madison jumps after next week. If he falls and it comes up. Yeah, obviously with Saka, who we're not sure whether he'll return, but I think Madison will hold. But Salah, of course, he has the early kickoff, and he does well in early kickoffs actually. At least from an FPL perspective, regardless of whether or not Liverpool wins or loses. Yeah, so Salah will probably still stay up top.
Okay. Yep. He's not already on top.
Agree.
Afosz, any particular things that interest in terms of midfield forward? Is someone like Alvarez, if you cannot afford Watkins, Alvarez could be an option? What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. Because it's either if you want to push for that particular price for the second forward, you would want Watkins at the moment, but you would try to save to balance your squad. I think Alvarez is one to go. But even if you have spare cash, then only try to fit in Isaac, whose price somewhere in the middle between these two. But otherwise, I think Alvarez is the one to pick for second forward.
Okay, fair. As long as KDB is still not fit, I think Alvarez can be still in conversation. He's actually taking the free kicks, right? When KDB is not wrong. I think and he scored one goal through free kick, one of the match. I forgot which one.
Yep.
Okay. All right. That's for top performer. In terms of stats, we just go briefly after game week 8 goal attempts. Okay. The top still Haaland there in terms of attempts, 32 goals attempts. And is it all inside the box here? If I'm right seeing that, 32. We have second, Rashford. Okay, we might not want to mention so much on Rashford, but he's still second in terms of attempts. 31 there and 24 inside the box. We have Eze there. I'm sorry, Min. He did not perform in terms of stats. He performed, but no, in terms of FPL points, he's lacking. We have Salah there in the top 4, and then we have Bruno Fernandes somewhere there. Okay, in terms of attempts. In terms of distribution, assist potential will be our surprise that Trippier on top in terms of chances creation. Okay, and from that 27, 6 are big chances. We have Madison there, and we have another Bruno Fernandes. So Bruno is like top 5 in attempts, top 5 also in terms of distribution. So should we still consider him in terms of stat? He's still up there. And the rest not so much, but we have Alvarez there in terms of attempts and distribution in the top 10. So that concludes in terms of the stats after game week 8. Min, what do you think, Min, from these stats? What interests you?
Yeah, and that is the reason why we keep Haaland. We still have Haaland. Just looking at that, because he is the quintessential fantasy player you would want to have. You know, he's not gonna mess around, be outside. He's gonna be in the box wherever possible. All the shots in all his attempts have been in the box. How insane is that? And yeah, it's he hasn't scored, but on his day he can just suddenly turn up and burn us. So we may not necessarily captain him, but by God, not having him is just too much of a risk. You know, you don't have him, and he not only scores, so he hauls against those who captain him. You know, it's hard. It's just hard when you look at that. You know, in the box, you know, he's there to score. That's what he's there for. Yeah. But Rashford up there as well, though nowhere as efficient. With most of his shots going not as great, so I don't know. It's out for me. Rashford. I like Alvarez hugely, but I don't have him, and I don't know whether I can have him.
But we can afford when we were cutting, right? If you want, yep, for sure. I go to Afosz next. Trippier is a person that you like, right? Trippier is in top in terms of assist potential. Do you feel that we need to have him?
At the moment, looking at his form, I would try to fit him in as much as I can, because arguably that if the form was to take place instead of Trippier, it is Trent. I think a lot of people will definitely jump in to bring in Trent, despite his price is much more expensive than Trippier. It's just that I don't know. Maybe some people try not really confident yet, or maybe it's just a matter of to balance your squad, because 6.9 for defender, and then a lot of managers try to cover Newcastle defenders instead of Trippier, have Burn instead, or Botman. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's more on to balance your squad.
I think so. Yep.
Yep.
All right. Okay, that's pretty much in terms of stats. We can see there who are performed. We can see there mentioning about Salah. I think in terms of stats, he's top 4 in terms of attempts, 90 inside the box. We did mention about Bowen, Madison is in these stats. Bowen in top 10 goal attempts. Madison also there, but at the same time, his distribution is number second. So I think I like that. I cannot see Sun inside here. So that's
Yeah,
something
Sun,
that's,
Sun at the moment is not really taking a lot of attempts as compared to like previous seasons. But it's just that he converts. I think he converts well. Maybe one and two attempts.
okay. Yeah. His conversion is good, right? Okay.
His conversion improves for this season. But in terms
Yeah, I
of
guess
goal attempts, looking at Rashford, really disappoints. You know, you have 20 over inside the box, but you only have one goal. With this kind of um, attacking players, this kind of potential, you would want this type of player to haul every other week or maybe once in 4 weeks. But it has been 8 weeks, with this kind of attempts inside the box, you only have one goal. You see, you try to compare the likes of Haaland, likes of Salah, have
Okay.
5 goals.
Okay.
Even Wisa,
can can just check BCS's big chances,
Oh,
big chance shots, right?
yeah.
BCT's big chances taken. So
yeah,
technically Rashford doesn't have any big chance at all. So
Yeah.
is he just taking shots? Whenever he gets the ball and the ball is just low quality chances. So it's something to
yeah,
think about.
I
For
think
Manchester.
so. It's more like a forced shot.
Yeah. Then that feels there's a confidence issue as well. I don't know.
Mhm. Yep. Okay, let's jump next one. Since we talk about moving forward, we take a look back at fixture ticker, game week 9 until 16. I think there's some teams that interest us in terms of fixture swing. We talk about Liverpool. They are now in top of the ticker. They already passed all the tough matches and also Brighton match. So they will go to some good run. Only Man City somewhere there in the next 6, but after that they're pretty much good. They will play back-to-back home game, 9 and 10. Everton, it's a Merseyside derby, but it's still a decent opponent to face. We have Forest there. Luton Town in game week 11 will interest us. Salah could be a captain option in game week 11. Brentford, Man City, Fulham, Sheffield United and Crystal Palace. Okay, other than that, I think fixture swing for West Ham also, especially after game week 9, because Villa is still a decent side away. But after that, Everton, Brentford, Forest, Burnley, Crystal Palace, Spurs, and Fulham. So that's why people are looking at West Ham, especially after game week 10. I think Arsenal also, even though in the fixture ticker 6, but after Chelsea, Sheffield United, Newcastle, Burnley, Brentford was really decent. That's why Arsenal should be in your consideration if let's say you're wildcarding. And then I think, although Villa is somewhere down there, but their fixture quite decent. Back to back home, West Ham, Luton, with Forest. I think Luton Town is the money game for Watkins, I think, because Luton playing at home, promoted side. The Forest, Fulham, Spurs, Bournemouth. Then after that, Man City, Arsenal in the 15 and 16, but still decent in the next 6 at least. So I go to Azmin. First, you see in terms of fixture ticker, what you like?
Well, Liverpool obviously there's a reason when they're at the top because out of the next 8 matches, there's only two teams there who are in the top 10 at the moment, and one of them, of course, is City, and the other one, can you guess which one that is? Who else?
Is
Without
it Brentford?
checking, no.
Palace.
Yes, it's Palace, which is right at the
Ah.
end anyway. So it's crazy, and obviously the problem with Liverpool is that coming off the international break, they have to rest players, or we've seen Klopp bench Diaz and Nunes, right after the international break the other day. So the chances are it can happen again, because now again they have the early kickoff, and Brazil Argentina are playing even for not sorry for the South American matches. Yeah, they're playing even later, and we saw McAllister, who was one person who did start after the international break, and he was wasted. He looked terrible, and he was hooked off at halftime. Yeah, but at the same time, you contrast that with bloody Alvarez, who started after the international break and hauled. Yeah, but maybe Liverpool players are not in that same vicinity in terms of that recovery. Yeah, but otherwise, you definitely got to look at Salah. Salah is the option to have, but the problem, obviously, you need to have the funds to fit him in, because other than him, that forward lineup is a bit of a challenge. Because if we Gakpo is a bit injured, but he may recover. Then it becomes that roulette wheel again as to who will start and who will score and who will haul. Yeah, so it's just really Salah is the most viable option. Everyone else is can haul, but it's a risk that you'll have to take. Yeah. So that's just quickly on Liverpool. So I just wanted to touch on, you mentioned Aston Villa. Yeah, so Aston Villa, it's only the second half. The first 4 matches are all decent matches. West Ham, Luton, Forest, and Fulham. Is only after that you have Spurs, City, Arsenal. So on the short term, it looks decent. Obviously, the first match is hard because it's West Ham, but they are playing at home, and it's aside from Liverpool, I think they're the only team that the next 2 matches are at home. Oh, there's Bournemouth as well. 2 matches back to back, Bournemouth at home together with Chelsea. It is looking good.
Okay. I go to Afosz from this fixture ticker. What interests you?
Yeah, I think the first one, top priority, is to have Salah for long term. Looking at this fixture ticker, it proves that when Liverpool at the top, the only person that can be trusted at the moment is only Salah. If you can't afford Salah, I don't think anyone else can cover him that well.
Okay.
And then next one, West Ham. I think you have 2 options. Is either you want to save money, get Ward-Prowse, or get the talisman Bowen. Just that in terms of attempts, Bowen is not as convincing in terms of for FPL asset. It don't really take that good amount of shots, but he converts well, and then sometimes he plays central as well. So the chance for him to get a brace in a few games, there's a chance for it.
For West Ham, who will take the penalty? Is it Benrahma?
I think it's Bowen.
But I think he did not take a penalty somewhere. First 6 games, I think there is a penalty, but someone else take. Is it Pakote? It could be, but it is unlikely Bowen. I have to check.
I can't remember, but it's not exactly that guy who takes penalty. Sometimes they rotates, but I think the top priority is still Bowen.
Okay, I agree on that. I think I agree.
Yeah.
Can I just mention Wolves? I think we got a lot of talk with how they're doing well, especially winning a City, and I don't know if Neto is part of your draft. But just now when we were looking at the stats, attempt shots, I was trying to look for Neto. I couldn't find him. I had to go through on the Fantasy Football Hub app, and it seems he took 12 shots, so he's nowhere near. But because he's been very creative, and it's only that it's only recently that he started to take more shots at goal. So, sure, the underlying stats may not be there at first, but it looks like he's definitely picking up. And the reason I'm talking about Wolves now is because they are third in that ticker, and it looks quite adorable. Aside from the Newcastle and Spurs might be a challenge,
Newcastle and Spurs,
Fulham, Burnley, Forest. You know, you may potentially bench against Spurs at Arsenal, but otherwise it's the Andy there.
Okay. I touch a bit about Brighton. We already know how Brighton little they can be as their day. After Man City, they really decent match. Fulham, Everton, Sheffield United, Forest, Chelsea, Brentford, and Burnley, right? So, but it's just a matter of picking which one, right? I think Mitoma is the safest one in terms of rotation. But other than that, we are not sure which Brighton player that you're gonna pick, right? If Estupena is back somewhere 10, maybe he will be in our team. If let's say we are Bakari in 10, but we're just unsure about his status right now, right?
Yeah, it is just Mitoma or no one. Even his keeper can just it's been rotated, so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Brighton-
of course,
Brighton's got very good
of
depth.
course, if Estupinian is back, then Estupinian we can bring him back in.
All right. Just wanna point out, Brian did mention jump on the Chelsea train. I don't think so, because you can see that in terms of Chelsea fixture ticker, Chelsea are really at the bottom, and I can say they face the most toughest fixture because they're gonna play Arsenal, Spurs, Man City, Newcastle, Brighton, and Manchester United in the next 6 or 7 games. So you can see, I don't think you
Manchester United
want
is
to
not
go.
a fixture.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, fair enough.
Sorry, they're coming on the United.
Okay, Gami 250, you just don't know, but I think it's really
Yeah.
reasonable. You offload your Chelsea asset for sure.
Yeah. Watch Sterling go on a run.
Okay. Let's go to. I think we go to Afosz team. Let's reveal your team.
Yeah, I want to
How
see
you design your Gameweek 9 wildcard. Maybe you can walk through your team, Afosz.
Okay, so as planned, I decided to wildcard during the international break. I hit wildcard button right after all games have been played.
After
So
the
for
Arsenal Man City
goalkeepers,
game, right?
yes. So for the first pick, goalkeeper, I take the cheapest one, Turner and Areola, because why we didn't pick these two starting since game week 1? So it will save a lot of money. These two, because we don't know whether or not Areola will start, but at the moment he continues to start and he plays well. So these two, Turner and Areola, is the one at the goalkeeper. I might be rotating them depending on fixtures and form. So going up to the defenders, the main ones are Trippier, Pedro Porro, and Cash. I think all these three are right backs, if I'm mistaken. So Trippier is one because he have good chance in attempt assists. Pedro Porro looking good in attempting shots inside the box and also creating chance for others. Same like Cash. I think these three at the moment is looking at a good form, so try to squeeze them in because I already have Cash at Trippier, so it's just a matter of who to replace. Who have to for the third defender. So I would want the Spurs defender because they are looking good attacking wise and also fixtures. So it's just matter of we have options of Pedro Porro and Udogi at the moment. But I think a lot of people have Udogi, so I have a few extra cash to spare. I pick Pedro Porro instead. So and then looking at what I call midfielders, Spurs combo, Madison and Son. Madison consistently to provide points, have a very decent floor, I would say, even though it don't have really high ceiling. But the high ceiling goes to Son. I wouldn't think to captain him any other week, but should he halls. Just wanted to gain that advantage, even though not captaining him. And then Bowen have good fixtures up ahead, and he's the talisman for West Ham. I think he take penalties, but even though he don't have really good amount of shot attempts, but we know that he can get um, goals out of it. Maybe once every week or maybe once in a while he score a brace. I don't think he has yet to score a hat trick, but a brace, I would expect him to get a brace maybe. And then Salah, of course, looking at the fixtures and his performance, really want to have him in your midfield lineup. And then going forward, double City, Haaland and Alvarez. Alvarez looking good. He takes free kicks. He's the second threat for City behind Haaland. Should Haaland didn't get any good chance or can't convert, he's there to steal the spotlight easily, because I think his season this time during the absence of KDB. And the third what I call forward, I pick Foster because I think is the one decent wise to bring in terms of nailing starter points, and also in terms of at least contribute points. Because you see, if you look at the past history, apart from his red card, so all of his game is either he score a goal or provide assist. I think only blanks once or twice. So I think I would say that I wouldn't say he's similar to Watkins, because Watkins has much more better potential. But if you take out that one game from Watkins, the scorer the points record is almost similar. And another thing is that because it's a matter of trying to manage your funds and try to fit in your squad to play 3-5-2. I think it's rather difficult. I would need to sacrifice maybe Son to balance things out. Should I to go with 3-5-2 formation? And then of course the bench, you have a bench enabler in midfield, Anderson, and then Kabore have good potential, and just to kill that last defender spot with Taylor.
Yeah.
So any comments?
Yeah, firstly, I guess if you did go for 3-5-2, then it would be Alvarez and Haaland, right? That would be the idea, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alvarez and Haaland still there. Just matter of whether or not I would want Watkins instead of the midfielder, maybe Son.
Because I do like that Foster pick. I think it's a bit underrated. I think with all the talk about Morris, I think Foster has the
5 million, right?
Yeah,
So,
5.2.
but the defensive lineup, Cash, Pedro Perro, Trippier. Unfortunately, I only have 2 of them myself. But I can see, but I can see the rationale there why you would have them, because they are going forward, and they are doing well, and the potential for attacking points is there as well. Yeah. So the only other question I have is, any thoughts of going Salah over Haaland for the captaincy?
Not this week, but I think this week is Brighton. I think City have good chance to score a lot of goals, considering how we look at Brighton's games previously. But every other weeks, depending on performance and fixtures, I will consider to captain Salah instead of Haaland. It's either these two.
Okay. From me, I think if let's say I'm wildcarding, if I want Trippier, I think my team will be similar like this. But the things after we see this, like I think Trippier is the one that is taking a lot of our budget. If let's say we want to have a fifth midfielder, right? We could easily have 6.5 million midfielder there and another 4.5 cheap defender there. Say we bring in Mitoma, or then we have Gale 4.5 million for Crystal Palace. That could be an option. Maybe that more balanced, but I don't know. I still think Trippier can deliver the value at 6.5, 6.9 million now. But sure, fitting players will be trouble. The other my concern also is you do not have any Arsenal representative. We did discuss just now after game week 10. After game week 10 and onwards, they have decent fixture. So maybe someone like Saka or Odegaard or Martinelli is someone that you definitely will be thinking, right?
Yeah, exactly. But at the moment for Arsenal, I think the only one that really attracts me the most is only Saka. I don't think anyone else deserve. I'm not sure deserve is the right word, but apart from Saka, Odegaard or Jesus, I think Jesus is alright, right? But and then Martinelli, maybe Martinelli, it's in the absence of Saka, maybe I think Martinelli is the one. Yeah, attracts me. Other than that, I don't think I would want Odegaard. I'm not sure.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Yep, I think it's the one. If I'm wildcarding this week, the only adjustment that I will make reluctantly is having another midfielder, someone like 6.57 like Mitoma, downgrade Foster to Archer, and I have to have another 4.5 million, 4.7 million Gabriel, say, or someone like that guy. You can't go wrong with any cheap defender. I think that's the only changes that I will make reluctantly, because I still feel Trippier could be still a good option moving forward. That's from me.
Yeah. If I were to make some changes to shift from 3-4-3 to 3-5-2, I think I would sacrifice Son instead of Trippier.
Okay, all right. Okay, Dansan could easily be Saka, right? Say if Saka fit, 8.4 million, 8.6 million, that could be an option. And then Foster could be Neto if you like, for 5.7 million. Maybe you can stretch there. I think that could be better.
Neto is in the midfield.
Yeah, Neto is in midfield, 5.7 million. If you another option, you can go Gordon because he's definitely has not released from his suspension, 5.6 million. Newcastle still a good team. Gordon will definitely play on the left side because Barnes is injured for quite some time, for a long time. Another option which I did mention to you offline, which I think maybe not an option, is Palmer, 4.9. I think Tom Freeman did put that an option in midfield, enabler. And he definitely looks like going to play in the first 11 right now. But Chelsea fixture is a concern. I think that's the only thing.
Chelsea fixture, yeah. But at the moment, I'm pretty much comfortable with this lineup 3-4-3.
Okay.
But subject to the last deadline, depending on how things goes, I might stick with this lineup, or maybe last minute change. I would sacrifice Son to balance the lineup for 3-5-2.
Okay, I think we already talked through it, and you understand Azmin and myself perspective. Then you can try to balance whichever. I still think if you can afford Trippier, I think it definitely bring you value for sure.
Yep.
All right. Okay, let's go to the next one, which is the game week 9 fixture. It will be deadline at 6 p.m. because the early kickoff, as we mentioned, Liverpool versus Everton, the Merseyside derby. Other than that, at 10 p.m. Malaysian time, Bournemouth versus Wolves. We have Brentford versus Burnley, Man City versus Brighton. I think this is the expectation from Man City player to bounce back from back-to-back defeat. Is it right? If I'm right, league game, Man City versus Brighton. We have Newcastle versus Crystal Palace also. Looks decent for Newcastle, but on paper, Crystal Palace can be a really stubborn side. And then we have Forest versus Luton Town. I think also, if people trust Forest at home, and Forest may be the team that you should go to. We have another interesting match, London Derby, Chelsea versus Arsenal. This is the first match on the tougher matches coming up. The first one will be from Arsenal for Chelsea. And then we have Sheffield United versus Manchester United. Sheffield United versus Manchester United could be the last hurrah if you're holding Rashford and Bruno Fernandes before your wildcarding. And then we have Villa versus West Ham. Another tough match, I think, because both teams are playing in Europe right now. And then we have Spurs versus Fulham. And we do expect a big haul from Spurs, right? So we can only expect on that Monday night, if we have 3 Spurs players, we will wait until the last minute of that Gameweek 9 fixture. Min, I go to you first. What attracts you? If let's say you're not wildcarding, what kind of transfer that we can take?
It's an interesting one actually. You got Spurs Fulham, who by all accounts it looks a good matchup, but Fulham have this ability to surprise. Bournemouth versus Wolves is definitely something that, you know, we're looking at a different Wolves than what we saw last season. This Wolves, their subs can come in and score. They have scored I think almost every match this season actually, you know, regardless of who scores, but they have scored. So it's definitely worth looking at Wolves. I think we saw earlier that Wolves are at the top of the ticker, number 3. And I think for this match, I think they could do well if you pick up a Neto, or for the more adventurous of you wanting to go for Huang Sichan. Yeah. So.
But Huang, is it midfield or forward? Huang, I think interesting one.
He's still as a midfielder. That's the thing. If you can't, and I think he's even cheaper than Neto.
Oh,
He's midfielder. I thought he's a forward, man.
Yeah. I think he's a midfielder. Yeah.
He's a midfielder. It's insane.
5.4.
Yeah, cheaper by 3 units. And the thing is, Hee-chan is the one scoring the goals, you know. More. And because I saw some interview with the manager talking about him, and they've been working on his ability to go in to at the right moment in terms of score goals. But you know, he's not going to get a lot of chances. You know, his underlying stats are not going to be great. But you know, the potential is there if you want to go for it. But the matchup I want to look at is that Newcastle Crystal Palace one, because for all the talk about Crystal Palace's defense, I think Newcastle could do them there. Could really push Crystal Palace's defense to the limits. I think that could be a high scoring match, that one.
Okay. All right. Afosz, what interests you?
Yeah, of course the one, I think the 3 picks, Liverpool, City because of Alan captain, and also having Alvarez as my second.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, and
but will Alvarez play? Alvarez will play in terms of international match. Will he be back on time? Do you think?
It's a shorter period. For Argentina match is on Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, right. So that is a risk there. Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Just like McAllister.
Okay, Afosz, continue.
Yeah, I think the last one is Spurs versus Fulham, because having triple up Spurs, so should Fulham surprise Spurs for that game. I think it's a very bad game week for me for Gameweek 9. So yeah, I think I would expect a high scoring game for Newcastle versus Palace, but should Palace continue to continue his defensive form, I think maybe it's a nil result.
Near.
Yeah. It's either be scoring for Newcastle or nil. I think so.
Okay. All right. I think an interest match for me in terms of doing transfer later we share. I think that Brentford and Burnley is something I'm looking at, potential my transfer. And also Man City Brighton. I think that could easily be the biggest score line for this week. if Brighton are not careful and continue to just going forward, right? So Man City can really strike you, and Haaland could have a big game week, and if let's say Alvarez play also, he could actually in the mix. All right, that's inter fixture. We just take a look quickly on captain pick. People still trust Haaland as the most favorable captain for this week, but Salah is really close because Salah did perform from last week 15 points. So I think you can't go wrong with these two, right? But I think that Liverpool-Everton match is Mercedes Derby could be a KG one. What do you think, mate?
It's not going to be KG. It's going to be a chaos, a chaos match, where in the 75th minute, Darwin Núñez will score, will come in and potentially change the match or get himself sent off. So I don't think it's going to be a KG match at all. So yeah, it should be fun. It won't be, but definitely not KG. Hopefully Salah comes through. But would you captain him for that?
I would think Salah come through, but looking at fixture, I might not captain Salah for this week.
Yeah, my worry is because of the people around him not being back, which is or not being fit in time with McAllister,
right?
Núñez and Diaz. So I'm worried that may affect Salah's chances, but we'll see.
Okay, fair. In my mind, I think Haaland is the straightforward captain for this week for sure, because facing Brighton, they've been leaky if they're not careful. Even though Brighton is still a decent side than over Everton for sure. But I think Everton, Shandad will definitely keep it tight, fall back behind for sure, and make it difficult for Liverpool. It could be really like a tight match, yeah. But I still feel, and as a non-owner of Salah, I don't think I'm going to have Salah in game week 9. I really hope he has a quiet match for sure.
No, because we're talking about this, but when you look at it, right, we talk about how Brighton have a poor defense, but so do Everton, and Everton are number 16 in the table. Brighton are actually 6 on the table, which is quite a thing. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
Okay, for you, Afosz, it's a clear thing, Haaland.
I think it's clear captaincy pick for me, Haaland versus Brighton.
All right, for sure. Okay, good. I think let's go to our team, man. What's your plan first? You got 0.1 million in the bank. You took a -8 transfer last week. Are you going to do the same thing this week?
It all depends on the status of my my bench, which is Kaburi, Amduri, and Good Gusto. Do any of them look like starting? Yeah, if not, I might be forced into taking another hit. At the moment, it really is just getting rid of Eze. So by getting rid of Eze, I would move to a 3-5-2 and bench Kaburi. So Eze, now obviously the Darwin is that risk of starting of him coming back from South America. So I'm just gonna hope that he does make it to the squad and comes in as a sub, as what I mentioned. But right now my priority is to remove Eze, and it could be for a Wolves player.
Wow. Okay. I think that's great. Okay.
Price, because I can't stretch for Madison.
Yeah. I think you got like around 6 million, 6.3 million or something like that.
Yeah, just the Eze price plus a 0.1 the bank. So not a lot.
I think so. Wolves not a bad shout against Bournemouth, who desperate for a win because they are also in the bottom 3, right? So that could be an open game. Yeah. Okay. I think I would agree with that. Just go with Eze. And you have not decided, right? You whether to wildcard intent, right? We did discuss that you might.
I have no inclination at the moment. I'm still quite okay at the moment with my team.
Okay.
Don't feel there's no pressing need. We've already got rid of the Chelsea.
And then wait until you have a 20 points game week. You might wildcard.
I think then after that, yeah, I think we can
Well, you
understand.
know,
Yeah.
it could happen. You know, sometimes it just falls down to the, putting in a wrong transfer or having the wrong captain. Yeah. So, but at the moment, yes, my captaincy is on Salah. So
Okay, all right. I like that.
let's see what
Okay.
happens there.
Okay,
How
let's
about
go to
you?
my team. Okay, let's go to my team. My thinking right now, I'm gonna wildcard in game week 10. I think that's where I think my plan will be. I'm still open to game week 9 wildcard, but I hope that is not the case because I still feel I want Salah. But I hope I can live with Rashford and Bruno for one more week. The Sheffield United could be the match that Manchester going to turn things around, and Bruno and Rashford could actually haul in that game. Yeah, all right, please. And in terms of goal, I will play Turner over Pickford. I will play Cash, Trippier, and Udogi. All play at home. I think no surprise. I'm going to bench Gabriel and Kabore. I'm going to play Gabriel over my team Chelsea, right? And we have Rashford, Bruno. We have Mbomo playing Burnley at home. One last chance, hopefully. Madison Sun, Fulham. Morris and Haaland. So I will have one free transfer, 0.8 million in the bank. I'm going to make one move only for this week and wildcard next week. That's the plan. Who I'm going to replace? I think two person that in my consideration right now, whether Rashford or Morris need to go. Okay. If I took out Morris, I can only afford like, let me count, 6.4 million. So the only striker I think I can afford, even not Awuni, I think the only one we have fixture is Wisa at home against Burnley. That I think can be a decent shout. Okay.
What about Afosz's Foster?
Burnley against away to Brentford, don't lah. Away team, I would definitely go for a home team first. No. I think Visa is not a bad shot. I have not experienced Visa. So why not this week against Burnley? And Burnley can be,
Visa have a good underlying stat as well. I think he's second behind Burmo in terms of chance to score goals. Yeah, I think it's a decent pick.
I think it's a pick. Or the other one, I take out Rashford and I go someone like Man City midfield. If I think Brighton game could be a bit hot, so I could go with Foden. If I can trust them, I think that's a 1 week punt that I can go. Or maybe Luis Diaz if I feel Liverpool versus Everton, if I know that he's going to start. But I'm still not sure. I think that Morris pick is much better, and Morris again away to Forest, maybe he will not deliver anything. But I think those are the only two options I'm going to go. Min, what do you think?
Hard lah. I think that you might as well just stick with Morris. And move to the 4-5, go 4-5-1 and put Gabriel in.
I'll make one move. I'll take one transfer. I think if let's say I want take out someone, I think maybe Rashford or Morris. I think then I'll play 3-5-2.
No. See, that's the thing. I can see you keeping that transfer and just going 4-5-1. It's just that Manchester United, Sheffield United. Regardless of how bad Manchester United have, I just feel that Sheffield are even worse.
They're worse, and then we know that these two have good potentials in terms of getting points, scoring goals.
Yeah, they should
be last time lah, right?
They just might be the flat track bully that they need, against Sheffield.
Okay. Okay, that's my thinking for now. I think we can discuss again in our deadline stream. Let's go to some question. We already on 1.5 mark.
Oh, I wonder if sleepy.
Sleepy
Jedi, sleepy.
Okay, a quick one. Saka, keep or sell? I'm not sure what Saka condition right now. Afosz, what do you think?
I would sell him because getting him back just costs additional 0.1, and I think his price dropping still. I would sell him until he's fit to play, and if you want, we just can get him back in.
Okay. All right, fair. Next one, I go to Amin. Who to play, Johnston or Pickford? I think this one, both are considering tough match, right?
Shit. That's a tough one. Gosh. Johnston, I guess. Yeah,
I think
because
so.
it's just that Palace's defensive track record is better than Everton. So
Okay. Right, I go to Azmin also because this question about Liverpool. If we get a league, Luis Diaz not starting, who should I buy to replace him?
just for 1 week. I don't know why you need a 1 week, but
Maybe he walk out in 10, so he just want to make a one move for this week.
Neto.
Okay.
I know you have a lot of funds left over, but yeah, Neto.
Afosz, you did discuss about Watkins or Alvarez. You had Alvarez in your wildcard. If money not an issue, Afosz, who you pick?
So I would pick Alvarez because of his performance.
Okay.
I'm still not confident enough on Watkins, but I might be wrong.
Okay. Okay, fair. All right. I think we already discussed it about Haaland, Salah, or Son captaincy. Main go for Salah. Afosz go for Haaland for sure. I don't think we're going to captain Son anytime soon for sure. For
Is that idea dead now? The Sun captaincy, it seems to be dead.
All right. Next one, Afosz, Botman, keep or sell. I'm not sure about Botman condition.
How's Botman condition? Wait, let me check first. Botman. Yeah, I think you sell for me.
Okay. All right.
At 4.7, you can get other defenders.
Okay.
Fork out a bit, get Anderson.
Okay. All right. Man, Estepona, is it a must sell if you still start with him?
If your squad has enough bench, then I would keep actually. Because when he does come back, he can haul. He has a good potential. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd still keep. Yeah, not for the defensive clean sheets, but for the attacking potential.
Attacking.
Okay. Go for Azmin also because Liverpool question, sell Luis Diaz and Bruno to get Salah for a hit. Would you do that?
Well, I don't know who the other person in the equation is, but yeah, I would actually. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Afosz, Trippier or Watkins for this game week? I think is it captaincy. I'm not sure, but Trippier playing the defense, Watkins in forward. So, what do you think?
If you try to adjust formation, whether who to bench, I wouldn't recommend benching a forward, especially those who have good chance of scoring. And then I would bench Trippier over Watkins. But
Okay.
if it's for transfer, I don't know.
Okay, I think I will play both of them. I'm not sure who else. You pick someone else to bench for sure. I will play both.
Not Watkins. Definitely not Watkins.
Last but not least, for Azmin, who to play? Burn home to Crystal Palace or Cash home to West Ham?
Cash.
Play Cash.
Just the attacking potential.
All right, good stuff. Thank you all for joining this FPL Jedi stream. I just want to remind everyone that Gameweek 9 deadline will be at 6 p.m. Saturday. And do hit the like button and subscribe to our FPL Jedi Show YouTube channel and hope to receive the early notification when it will be live. So last word first from Azmin before we wrap up. Or you don't have anything to say?
No, I don't. It's you have to figure out which players are essential, especially for those who are wildcard, and build that team around it, and who are going to be sold, and you need to decide that for the next few weeks until the next wildcard becomes available. So
Okay.
good luck.
Last word from Afosz, especially to all who are wildcarding this week.
Yeah, let's hope a big points for wildcarders. So I just want to get rid of my nightmare Gameweek 8. That's all. Can't wait for Gameweek 9 to start.
All right. Thank you guys for joining this session, and hopefully we see you again. And take care and enjoy the rest of the week. Bye
All
bye.
the best, everyone.
Take care,
Bye.
guys.